And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. Start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Welcome to the Launch Pad. I'm your host, Harry Washington, and today we're going to be discussing astronomy. So those of you interested in the stars, then stay tuned. This show is brought to you by Pursuing a Dream Corporation. Pursuing a Dream Corporation is a nonprofit organization that encourages students in grades K through 12 to pursue degrees and careers in areas of science, technology, engineering, math, or STEM. Our first guest today is Planetary Patty from the Howard B. Owens Science Center. Welcome to the show, Patty.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here.
Now, how did you get the name Planetary Patty?
That came about a year and a half ago when I had applied and accepted a position to be the planetarium operator, American planetarium operator in Italy, sponsored by the International Planetarium Society. So my goal was to be able to post through social media under Planetary Patty so the students could follow me while I was on loan to Italy.
Now, how would you define astronomy?
I define astronomy kind of like the dictionary, the basic knowledge of things astronomical like the stars and the planets, but I want to add to that, it's the love of things astronomical like the stars and the planets in the universe. Now,
currently you're at the Howard B. Owens Science Center.
Yes.
Now, where's that located?
That is located in Lanham, Maryland. We are clustered in, actually we're part of a complex now with Duval High School and Catherine T. Reed Elementary School.
Oh, excellent. And also, now what are the hours of operation?
We teachers are there between 8 and 3:30.
Okay.
And the students come and visit us anytime between like 9 and 3 o'clock.
So you said teachers, so most of the staff are teachers?
Yes, all of our staff are certified teachers in the state of Maryland.
Oh, wow, that's excellent. Now, what age group is appropriate to visit the Science Center?
We offer programs anywhere from pre-K all the way through high school, and then some evenings I even host some college classes.
Oh, wow. What about, is there any aftercare programs?
No aftercare programs.
Just from Monday through Friday, well, Monday through Saturday?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
We used to offer some Girl Scout programs on Saturdays, but not as much anymore. But we can offer some special programs as requested.
Now, what interests you in astronomy?
I can actually put my interest in astronomy back to my school days in Prince George's County, Maryland. I remember walking into my 9th grade Earth Science classroom, a temporary at High Point High School, and there was a photograph of Jupiter on the bulletin board.
Wow.
And I looked up at Jupiter and thought, wow, I want to know more about the planet. So just that simple photograph inspired me to read more, go out to the library, read as much as I could. But if I think back, I actually remember walking through the doors of the Howard B. Owens Science Center the first year that they were open and visiting the planetarium. And I don't remember what the program was, but I remember the instructor saying, this is what the sky would have looked like to the shepherds thousands of years ago. And my jaw simply dropped. I had never seen that many stars growing up in the suburban area. Never seen that many stars in the sky before, and wow, I wanted to know more about it even then.
Now, just from your experience of working with the at the planetarium, what age group do you think gets the most excited about being there?
Oh, that's interesting. I think the little kids really do, especially since they've never been there before. Their first time going in the planetarium, it's a large 55-foot diameter dome, a round room, so it's totally different. We have an optical mechanical machine in the middle of the room, and they're like, But what I love the most, especially our kindergartners, when we just put a simple image up and just hearing them collectively go ooh and ah. But I tell you, I've even had 10-year-olds, 5th graders, clapping their hands the first time we make it completely dark and they see the stars. Just totally unrehearsed, totally, you know, I'm not prompting it, and it's just really exciting for me to see that simple joy of just seeing the stars brings that love to them like it did for me all those years ago.
And I know we got to get to more questions about the science, but in terms of just looking at, just getting the audience more of an idea about the students, their experiences there, what do you think we could do more to get students involved, more interested in astronomy? Because I know that's a field that often probably gets overlooked.
Well, probably just allowing the teachers more time in their schedule to be able to schedule that. This is a science enrichment. We are a science enrichment STEM program at the Owens Science Center. So teachers, the ones that have the support to be able to come out on the field trips and the funding, that becomes an issue for transportation. Because we offer, our programs are free for Prince George's County Public Schools students. That's why we're there.
Right.
But they still have to cover the transportation costs to get there.
Right.
But once they're there, being able to have hands-on, minds-on STEM activities gets them excited about science in general. And then, of course, in astronomy, again, sometimes the simplest things we overlook, just being able to take the time to be quiet under the stars.
Right.
I think sometimes we push our students so much, do.
Right.
Just giving them a simple moment of wonder under the stars, and they want to know more.
Right.
And then provide them with the resources afterwards to do that.
Excellent. Now, with the different age groups, what is offered for those different age groups when they come to the Science Center or the planetarium?
For in the planetarium, well, we have got different activities that support the science curriculum. So where 3rd and 5th graders are studying planets, we try to focus on the planets for them. 8th graders are trying to learn about the phases of the moon and seasons, so we focus on that for them. 2nd graders are just looking at patterns in moon phases, so we can actually, in a half an hour, take them through 2 months of observations where they are recording and observing and making connections themselves. Pre-K, we're just simply getting them used to the environment and looking for shapes in the stars. And that's actually been pretty popular with my public too. They're like, wow, I can't see those pictures, but I can find a square. I can find a triangle. And so those are the types of programs we offer. Again, just trying to support the curriculum, but also going beyond the curriculum.
Gotcha. Now, explain the concept of a Challenger Learning Center. What is that?
Oh, we are really fortunate that we have one of the very first Challenger Learning Centers that were developed after the Challenger disaster in 1986. The families of the astronauts that died wanted to continue to promote science and space travel in particular. So they created these science learning centers so that students could come in, run a simulated mission in both pretending they're in a spacecraft and in mission control to just keep that excitement and love going. And here we are all these years later, and we're running missions to Mars right now. Mars is in the forefront of everyone's knowledge. We're doing so many exciting discoveries on Mars right now, thanks to NASA and all these other missions. So we're supporting that, and the kids, they really do get excited. Right now we focus at the middle school level for as particular 6th grade.
Now, I see your compassion. I'm sure everybody who's watching this sees your compassion. What is your background?
Oh, my background is actually in astronomy. I got to my degree in astronomy, my bachelor's degree, and then did nothing with science at all, but started working part-time in the planetarium on weekends and just decided I want to be here. And because it was part of the public school system, I knew I needed to get my teaching education degree. So I went back and got my master's in science education.
Excellent. Now, what advice would you give to parents in terms of trying to get them to be more interested in, get their students more interested in science?
To give the parents?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I'd invite them to come to our family science nights. We're going to offer 2 this year. Our first one on October 30th, and then one in the spring, right before the first day of spring, before the vernal equinox on the 20th of March. But also, just listen to your kids' interests. I mean, when my dad knew I was interested, this is going to tell how old I am, this is bad, he brought home film strips on the cosmos with Carl Sagan. So I was watching film strips and things like that. So anything parents can do to encourage the reading, the learning, take them to our public planetarium nights, which are typically the 2nd Friday of the month. We've got a whole schedule up for that. Take them to science museums. I mean, I drag my family to every planetarium whenever I go anywhere in the country, or even now out of the country.
And we have an abundance of them, but people don't realize we do have an abundance of planetariums just in this area.
Yes, we do. The state of Maryland, a lot of our school systems now have planetariums. So.
Now,
come to mine.
how would you say the Science Center makes learning fun for students?
Well, because students are giving opportunities they don't normally have in the classroom. We have some resources that they don't, and we have the top teachers with knowledge and passion. So we're not only training the students, we're actually training the classroom teachers that come along on the field trips as well. Providing them resources, providing them with activities. So even though they may not have the same equipment that we have, we can provide them with the information that they need to go back and continue carrying on that love and excitement of science. And I think that's the best thing that we bring, just that love and expertise.
Is there any current programs or initiatives that the planetarium is offering?
Well, as I mentioned, we have our 2nd Friday of the month for the general public. And for the school teachers, All they have to do is go online to our website, and they can log in and register for any of the programs for the Science Center, including, of course, the planetarium. So, but the Science Center, yes, we're bigger than just astronomy. We're an entire STEM center. So,
right. Anything else? Anything else you want our guests to know?
I wish everybody could come to the planetarium. So,
tell them the hours again.
The hours to come. Well, for the general public, it would be the second Friday of the month, and those 2 family science nights on October the 30th and March the 20th. That would be between 6 and 8:30.
Okay, 6 and 8:30.
And that's free, so that's helpful. There's a small charge for the public planetarium programs, but very nominal. But yeah, they can't just come walk through the building because we are part of the school system and offer general programs. So, but if a parent is interested, especially because we do offer and support homeschool networks, call the Science Center and make arrangements, because we'll do everything we can to get you in.
Excellent. We'd like to thank Planetary Patty for joining us. We'll be back. Welcome back to Launchpad. And again, today we're discussing astronomy. And we're joined by Mr. Joe Nowacka with the Goddard Astronomy Club. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, what led to the formation of the Goddard Astronomy Club?
Well, actually, the Goddard Astronomy Club was started in 1962.
Okay.
I can't say how it started, but it started right after Goddard was on site in Greenbelt here.
Okay.
And we had, in 2011, we had a kind of an event to mark our 50 years as the Goddard Astronomy Club.
Okay.
And that was a nice little celebration, you know, pizza and soda and that kind of stuff. And all the members were there. It was nice.
Now, how many members do you have, part of your club?
Right now we have 36.
Wow. And are all of them astronomers or
astronomers?
We're
all amateur astronomers.
Okay.
But above that, there could be some professional astronomers like that work at NASA. Some of them come in and they help us out, and they'll give speeches, and it's nice.
Now, how long have you been a member, and what influenced you?
I've been a member for 5 years, and what influenced me to become a member is that I started, for some reason, getting interested in telescopes.
Okay.
And I joined because I wanted to learn more about telescopes and see if anybody can help me to build one.
Now, why did telescopes fascinate you?
Well, I guess it's just part of my schooling.
Okay.
I got interested in optics.
Okay.
And when I was interested in optics, I wanted to make that knowledge of optics work for me.
Okay.
And I thought, well, maybe I can build a telescope cheaper than I can buy it. So it was kind of an experiment.
Did you build it?
I built it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I use it all the time when I go out these days, yeah.
Wow. Now, how old is the telescope?
The telescope is about 4 years old. About.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, your meetings for the Goddard Astronomy Club, how often do you guys meet?
We meet once a month.
Okay.
As a club for meetings.
All right.
But in between our meetings, we have public outreach events.
Okay.
And so sometimes our public outreach is right on the campus of Goddard.
Okay.
And sometimes it is down in DC.
Right.
Sometimes it's off at other astronomy clubs, you know.
Now, how can individuals who are interested become members?
Okay, the Goddard Astronomy Club is employees only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, there is a Greenbelt Club,
okay,
which is our sister club,
okay,
which is the Greenbelt Astronomical Society.
Okay.
And over there, they will take the public from any nearby community, okay, and allow them to join.
Okay. Now, when you say outreach initiatives, describe what do you mean by outreach initiatives?
Okay, recently we did an outreach event, okay, over near the place where they have the what is it called, the Planet Walk.
Okay.
I believe it's off of Route 3.
Okay.
Further south of here.
Okay.
And during that outreach event, it was in the daytime, and we had our solar telescope out.
Okay.
And some people from other clubs came by, mm-hmm, with their solar telescopes, and we were showing everyone that was involved in walking the Planet Walk, okay, the sun.
Okay. Because,
well, it's the only thing out during the daytime.
Right.
So we were we had a great view of the sun that day, and you were able to see the flares
Okay.
and prominences all around the perimeter of the sun.
Oh, wow.
It was a beautiful event.
Now, has there been any personal discoveries that you've made yourself as an astronomer?
Well, personal discoveries that I've made were things that I didn't know about,
Okay.
like globular clusters.
Okay.
They are so fascinating. When you look through a telescope at a globular cluster, like M13 in Hercules constellation, that cluster has thousands of stars, and they're all in a little ball.
Okay.
And when you magnify that ball, you could start to see all these points of light come out.
Oh, wow.
And it's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Wow. So, I mean, even going back to being a youth, I mean, your fascination with astronomy, when did it start?
Well, my fascination started in 1969 or 68, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I was camping out as a young boy, and I remember looking up, and there was the Perseids meteor shower
Okay.
was occurring.
Okay.
And that particular year, they were coming down like raindrops.
Wow.
I remember seeing about 10 per minute.
Okay.
And that equates to like, 60 per hour.
Okay.
And usually it's about 100 per hour.
Okay.
But I was just so fascinated with that. It stayed in my mind all of my life.
Okay. Now, why should students in grades K through 12 become more interested in astronomy?
Well, I'll tell you what, people would naturally get interested in astronomy if we didn't have light pollution in the cities.
Okay.
Because you would look up and you would see millions and millions of stars.
Okay.
Looking up from the Bowie area, you probably only see hundreds of stars.
Okay.
What a big difference in seeing 1 million versus 100.
Right, exactly.
It's incredible when you go to a dark site like in West Virginia.
Okay.
You could see millions of stars.
Wow.
Millions.
Now, are there any current initiatives that the Goddard Astronomy Club has?
Oh yes, we have an initiative right now where on September 6th, next month, we will be having a public outreach event
Okay.
at the Goddard Visitor Center.
Okay.
September 6th is a Saturday, and so if you come by Saturday evening,
Okay.
you'll see us in the back of the Visitor Center all set up with our telescopes.
Okay.
And anybody will be able to look through them, and I guarantee you you'll enjoy it.
Oh, wow. Any final words?
Get involved in astronomy. You won't regret it. It's something you could do even before you get to school, before you get to college, and you'll fascinate all your friends and your family.
And to learn more about the Goddard Astronomy Club, you can visit them on the web.
You could visit us on the web, and we have a Facebook page. Just recently, like
Excellent.
in the last month, we got a Facebook page called the Goddard Astronomy Club. You could become friends with our Goddard Astronomy Club.
Excellent. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Launchpad. Again, I'm your host, and we're very excited because now we have both guests here, Planetary Patty and Joe Novaka, to talk a little bit more about astronomy. Now, again, thank you both for returning. But I guess the first question I'm sure that was on everybody's minds is, what are some of the, and I'll start with you, Patty.
Sure.
What are some of the careers that students can look for in astronomy?
Well, I think today your careers are almost unlimited. You might think, I don't know, maybe you can help me with this one on Joe. It's like, you might think that it's just research and sitting behind a desk and that kind of thing, but there are some, or is it romantic and you get to stay up all night and look at telescopes? There is some of that, but I think I think today's astronomer also needs to be a computer programmer. You need to be able to, or there'll be some jobs where you could integrate some creative arts.
Okay.
Right. Processing of images.
Processing the images.
Yeah.
So, I mean, help me fill in some more. I mean, there's so many different opportunities
Well, there's
in this day.
astrophysicists, you know, there's actual astronomers that go out to the observatories and they'll sit up all night looking at stars.
That's the romantic part.
Some of them get to go to Hawaii and go up to Mauna Kea, you know, which is several miles high.
So there's some travel associated with this as well.
There is travel.
Yes.
Actually, astronomy is a really nice field to get into because you do get out quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, the stars are out at night only. So you better be able to sleep in the daytime.
Especially if you're going to the South Pole Observatory.
That's right. That's right. We even have, over at NASA, we have balloon type events where they'll launch balloons from the South Pole with telescopes on them.
Wow.
And they'll just skirt above the atmosphere, and they'll be taking pictures of something up there.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a low-level spacecraft in
Okay.
that sense, yeah.
No, and I'll start with you, Joe, for the next question. What kind of skills do students need to develop to become astronomers?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Of course, to be an actual astronomer, with a degree, you're going to have to go to college, 4 years,
Okay.
and it's going to be a lot of physics and math.
Okay.
Astronomy has to do with planet rotations, you know, and the solar system rotation.
Okay.
A lot of that comes into calculus and math.
Okay.
But once you get into the actual field, you're learning some really high-tech stuff that's happening out in the universe,
Right.
and in the solar system.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Patty?
Wow, I think you kind of said it all, but yeah, I mean, really your mathematics skills, your science skills, and even engineering, because engineering and astronomy are both applied physics
Okay.
and mathematics.
Yeah.
And so don't be scared of those things. Sometimes it's like, oh, I couldn't do it, but you can.
One other thing, Patty, is that, you know, now they have what's called paleo astronomy.
Okay.
Where they look actually into the history of the planet and other planets to find out what was happening,
Wow.
you know,
Right.
millions and billions of years ago.
But now, just staying on math, because I know a lot of students have anxiety, but how much math is involved in astronomy? Either one of you can respond on that.
It depends whether you go the theoretical route,
Okay.
or whether
Yeah.
you go into like an investigative route.
Okay.
And I think the theoretical route, which is, you know, where you'll have your Keplers and your Copernicuses, and,
Okay.
you know, they were doing a lot of math, figuring out orbits.
Right.
Okay, so calculus would be needed in those
Right.
cases.
So for, and I'll start with you, Patty.
Yeah.
But so for those moms and dads who are watching this segment and they want their kids to become astronomers, what can be done? How do they get them involved in something to get them started?
Well, get them involved in a local astronomy club. I mean, I know a lot of it tends to,
Yeah.
at least the Greenbelt Astronomy Club, I have to get this plug in, they meet at the Owens Science Center. But the Astronomical Society of Greenbelt is mostly older members, but we encourage the students to come too. And it's
Okay.
very exciting for us to have young
Yeah,
students.
young members
come.
are definitely allowed at astronomy clubs. You know.
Maryland
So
Science.
father, son,
Yes. Okay.
mother, daughter, whatever, yeah.
Maryland Science Center often offers activities for families in astronomy. Even Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama encourages your young students to partner with your parent to go out there.
Okay.
So that could be a lot of fun. And I would encourage people to look into those opportunities. That some of them are more expensive, like the Space Camp, and some of them are free.
I guess this is my last question. I know we didn't go over this. Joe, would you say in a few words, what makes astronomy cool?
I think astronomy being cool speaks for itself. If you go out to the Goddard Astronomy Club site and you look at the Hubble images, you know, the pillars of heaven where they're standing up and they're so large that there's just millions and billions of stars right in one picture.
Right.
Now, of course, you can't count them because they look like clouds of light,
Right.
but they're clouds of stars. Astronomy is cool in itself. Yeah, you just look through a telescope, right, Patty?
Well, I was going to say, you know, as many times as I've looked at images from the Hubble Space Telescope, the ones that have been highly enhanced, and even looking at images of the moon,
Okay.
nothing beats the experience of looking at the moon through a telescope
That's right.
or binoculars. You can't explain how that makes you feel inside, and that's what makes astronomy cool.
That's our show. We'd like to thank both our guests, Joe Novaka, as well as Planetary Patty, with both great organizations involved in astronomy. To learn more about them, again, view our credits, and get out there and get a telescope and view the stars. Thanks for joining us.